Previously on Jetstream.
Practice, practice, practice. When your fingers start to bleed, you might be getting close.
Close encounters at 20,000 feet.
So what do you think the #1 objective is?
Don't hit the other guy.
The rookies test their nerve in formation flying.
Rolling in. Look how big that airplane is. Freaking huge.
Did you see the brake signal from the guy?
No mistakes go unpunished.
You've broken the trust with that man. And I'm going to kick your ass about this today.
How many airs were on this thing?
Few. Yeah.
As they raise the stakes at fighter pilot school.
I don't know where you convinced yourself that it was okay to just do Seamus's checks, but it's not.
And one spin cycle too many. Another pilot is cut from the course.
My life sucks.
I asked myself, could I sign this guy off? Then I just could not in good conscience do that.
This is what it's like to be at the sharp end of a Canadian Air Force fighter squadron. They call it a scramble. It happens every time an intruder sneaks into Canadian airspace. These are the guys they send up to check it out.
India Whiskey, surface winds at 070 at 2 knots, both cables up, clear takeoff, runway 31 left.
Fuel tanks full, weapons armed.
Bravo 225 Razor. Taxi for runway 31 right, across runway 22, departure kilo up.
From a standing start, they can be airborne in a matter of minutes. The target may be a smuggler or an airliner that's drifted off course. Or maybe a Russian bear bomber testing our defense response times. And sometimes, like that day in September 2001, it may be the unthinkable.
9/11 wasn't anything we'd ever seen before, and hopefully never see again.
On the day of the attack, all civilian aircraft were grounded, and anything still in the air was considered suspect. Fighter planes all over North America were launched.
I was up in the Arctic and got scrambled to go intercept an airliner. It was intense. It was very intense.
During 9/11, I was in the East Coast. We were intercepting 747s, that sort of thing.
We were going after potentially another threat. And there's not a whole lot of time to sit there and think about it. You're going to do it.
In every case, the targets were airliners loaded with passengers, and the fighter pilots all knew what they might have to do.
You know, you never expect to have to do that with your own people, right? You always expect to take the battle to the enemy, but to have to shoot down your own airliners, that's just...
It's just the absolute most horrendous scenario you could possibly imagine.
And I told my wingman, if we ID an airliner and it turns out that we're gonna have to shoot it down, I'm just gonna park you 2 miles behind it, and then I will go in and I will shoot the thing down. So I'm not gonna give you that responsibility. I'm the flight lead. I will be the one with the nightmares. You just hang out and film it, you know.
In the end, they were all spared the nightmares. But since 9/11, fighter jets have been scrambled thousands of times to intercept suspicious aircraft. It's the job F-18 pilots are trained to do, watching the country's back. And if these 6 rookies make it through fighter pilot school, they'll be the new sentries at the gate.
That is our #1 priority, defense of Canada, defense of Canadian airspace. That's something these kids, no kidding, they are going to graduate out of here. And within a couple of months, they'll be holding alert. And that will be a responsibility and a burden they will have to bear.
It's now 4 months into the course, and the students are entering the tactical phase of the training. The time when jet pilots must become jet fighters.
It's the first time we really get into using the radar, first time we really get into using the weapons and the whole sort of tactical mindset.
The first thing the students have to learn is the tactics of an intercept.
The student is expected to fly the airplane today and use his radar to be able to intercept a bandit aircraft from head-on and be able to turn in behind the bandit, reach 1,000 feet behind the bandit, and at this point go around to the edge here and to a point where he can turn on his identification light and see the target, identify it, kill it.
It's a big mission. It's your first start into tactical employment of the Hornet. In reality, the Bear bombers with the counter-rotating props, you're going to get one kick at this cat, okay? And you're going to be all sweaty at night in a poopy suit 100 miles out over the Arctic Ocean. Dude, you want to get it right the very first time, okay?
To make an intercept, speed is not the problem. The Hornet's engines are so powerful that if you strap them to the family car, it would accelerate from 0 to 140 miles an hour in 1 second. The problem is directing all that power to arrive at the right place at the right time. That's where radar comes in.
North Group, cold, bullseye, 01015.
Alpha 5-1, trap line, read you loud and clear, and Bravo 6-1 copied as well.
The guys in radar control are like a wingman watching the pilot's back.
Copy that.
Roger, 6-1, confirm your bullseye, 15026.
They decipher the radio waves, blips, bleeps, and codes for the pilots.
Trap line, single group, capping, bullseye 165.
Trap line, single group, bullseye,
23,000, 2 contacts, lost off.
22,000 measured.
They get the fighter to the right patch of sky. But once he gets close to the target, the pilot must rely on his own radar and his own calculations. And those calculations are all about hitting what they call benchmarks. At 40 miles out, you should be 8 miles to the left of the target. At 10 miles out, the second benchmark, you start turning towards him. By 3 miles, you should be pointing straight at the bandit, then sweep around behind to creep up on his tail. This is Tim Coffin's first attempt at an intercept. For this mission, one of the instructors, call sign Peanut, takes off first and plays the bandit.
He's rolling. There he goes. We are set. Cover the cans.
Tim's target is now 40 miles away. There isn't a lot to see. Not that it matters, because the mission is to make the intercept by instruments alone.
Setup number 1, tapes on, fights on.
2 bites on. Okay, yeah, we're slow. Let's get our speed back up. Remember what he said, it's hard to get ahead of him. So, fight for your benchmarks. Fight for your benchmarks.
To hit those benchmarks, the right piece of sky at the right time, you need to lock radar. Here's how you do it. Under Tim's left hand are the throttles. But they're like a gas pedal that also preps his weapons, controls his radio, his brakes, and helps lock the radar. That button acts like a mouse, moving the cursor around Tim's screens. Over here on the stick, that middle button locks Tim's cursor on the bad guy. Don't get distracted. Squish the wrong button, and you might earn yourself a new call sign. But the real challenge is doing the mental math. Tim's traveling 25 miles every 2.5 minutes, closing on the bandit at 2,000 feet per second. All those numbers feed into this formula, and Tim has to calculate it on the fly. Get one number wrong, say he's off by 5 degrees, and he'll miss the target by 3 miles.
Alpha's terminate.
And that's exactly what's happened.
Alpha 5-1, terminate.
Tim is nowhere near the right place.
You gotta control the intercept, because you're the fighter. He could be a Bear bomber or an airliner, man. Yeah. You're the fighter, you control the intercept, okay? Can we do another one, please?
Tim gets another shot at it.
Start prepping your radar right now for where you want to be looking at.
But again, he's lost control.
What's going wrong? Speed. Yeah.
Last time, he was too far off. This time, he's blasting in too close.
Alpha is terminate. We want to be kind of sneaky about the whole thing. That's the whole intent of this.
In the real world of enemy jets and terrorist hijackers, a bad intercept is like flashing a neon welcome sign. When the learning curve is this steep, every rookie makes mistakes. And that's okay, but only once.
Of course, if you come raging in and fly up beside him, it's great if you're, intercepting your mom on your private airplane, but it's not really cool when you're trying to do it to a Bear bomber or something. Okay? So I'm expecting you to do that to 100%, right?
Yeah.
That's how it's all going to progress. And we're always going to keep adding something. Just when you think, I think I'm kind of getting, here, eat this now. The elephant is 1 spoon at a time. Okay? We're going to just keep feeding you the elephant.
And the next spoonful is a big one. Make the intercept again, but this time, do it in the dark.
So this is going to get your heart rate going, night formation stuff. We got the lighting on the jet, and on dark nights, that's about all you're going to have. So this can be disorientating.
What's worse, they'll be taking off and landing in 2-ship formation. And even the veterans never get comfortable flying that close to another plane they can barely see.
Oh, I wouldn't say it's dangerous, it's just the most scary thing I've ever done in my life. Because we don't have night vision goggles yet, so whoever came up with this idea is just an idiot.
All right, guys.
Nighttime disorientation has claimed the lives of pilots throughout history. And before this night is over, it will nearly claim 3 more. When darkness settles in over Cold Lake, Alberta, you begin to think the term black as night was probably invented here.
Anchors up, flaps.
From the cockpit of an F-18 fighter jet, this is all a pilot sees.
Takes are good.
The horizon, which helps pilots orient themselves, is gone. Lights on the ground look like stars. Down looks an awful lot like up. As the brain struggles to make sense of it all, it can trick the pilot into thinking he's turning when he isn't. Runways can appear longer or shorter than they are, and a light can cause a pilot to fixate on it, confusing the brain into thinking the jet is moving in ways that it isn't. An optical illusion like that can be deadly. And tonight, it almost was. On touchdown, Captain Riel Erickson nearly killed 3 people. Herself, the deputy commanding officer in her back seat, and the course director in the plane right beside hers.
Yeah, sign in US and then we'll just review the tape.
And when are you going to strip the data right away?
Right away.
Here's how it happened. She was landing in formation behind and to the right of her lead.
Step it up on them. Look at your side of the runway.
On touchdown, thinking she was drifting wide, she kicked in left rudder. And the plane instantly veered towards her lead. Then started swerving back and forth across the runway. Spanky, the instructor in her back seat, had to step in to save it.
I have control. Yeah, control.
The second we touched down, kind of touched the brakes, and we just started going back and forth, and we closed really rapidly on our lead. We were just trying to get the aircraft back under control again there.
It happened so quickly, like we hit, and next thing you know, we're taking a dart to the left, and then we're back to the right, and we're like PIOing down the runway, but we're drifting over into your lane, and I'm like, shit, I don't even know what to do.
It takes a lot to rattle veteran fighter pilots, but Spanky was within a heartbeat of pulling the ejection handle.
My eyeballs are going in every different direction because I'm going, do I have flashing landing gear? And I'm right behind you, and I'm going, shit, if we do, I can't go around. I can't because I'll have to go right through you. And I'm hearing beep, 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 and you know, we're starting to swerve down the runway without a little bit of luck. We'd have clipped wings for sure.
Fair bit left, so that would have been that first.
The only question now is whether it was Rial's fault or a problem with the aircraft.
Whack a left,
whack a left,
whack a right, whack a left, whack a left, whack a right again.
And the flight data recorder confirms their suspicions. Riel was dancing on the rudder pedals.
As soon as I grab it, she lets go of everything. Bam, straight. It's fine. It just sorts itself out.
It's pilot error.
Good. Step it up a bit.
And it's the kind of flight that can end a career before it's even begun.
You got your side of the runway. Good. 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 Oh. Take it easy. Take it easy. I have control. I have control. Yeah, control. Burn, keep rolling out. Okay, turn the taxi light on.
And it doesn't look as violent on the tape, but you were there with me, so you know you can feel the side forces. We were probably one full oscillation from being completely out of control on the runway, in my estimation. If we'd kept up that 125, 133, we'd have probably started going sideways if we'd kept fighting it. And who knows? in terms of the amount of experience you have in the aircraft. You have to take the how to fly manual as gospel, okay? Those things are training rules. Those things have been paid for in blood. Your confidence in yourself and in the aircraft, in my impression, are going in the opposite direction, okay? And I think, and I'll be very blunt, I think the aircraft overwhelms you, and and maybe you're a bit afraid of it right now. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
You know, even in the briefing, you weren't sure of yourself.
I'm going to say it's not so much the aircraft, but the aircraft, the night experience for sure.
Okay. It's new to you.
Yeah.
Riel has a big problem, and she knows it. Fear is a fighter pilot's real worst enemy. In combat, losing confidence means losing the fight.
Okay. Okay. And so go home and get some sleep, okay?
Yeah.
And if Riel can't shake off this self-doubt soon, her next battle will be for her future.
Here's the next one I'm going to harass with awkward.
When the second highest ranking officer in the fighter pilot training squadron gets agitated,
Expect me to survive without any popcorn. That's lunch.
it's a sign you'd better pay attention.
And I know someone was supposed to cover someone else's butt on the popcorn making today, but
I don't care that they're hanging out with the ad kids doing their self-study. There's still no popcorn here. So I leave it to you to kindly advise them they better get their ass over here and start putting corn on.
Take care of it, sir.
Even if you think it's ridiculous. Around 410 Squadron, popcorn is an essential food group. And Seamus is the guy who's supposed to make sure it gets made. It's not, and there's hell to pay.
Look at this. The machine's Friday morning. Well, it's 12:30 right now. So guys should probably be hungry about this time of day. So we gotta come out here and make popcorn because these guys can't figure that out.
What it says to his instructors is that Seamus isn't pulling his weight, and his attitude is starting to rub them the wrong way.
Time. Stop eating.
He's been warned about his in-class etiquette more than once.
they're smoked oysters.
Smoked oysters?
It's good for the brain. Gets it lubed up. I'm all about the lube. You're Ukrainian. You like this stuff. It's good.
Hurry up.
I'm done.
And in this place, patience runs thin in a hurry.
Do you have a mission planning table where you can do that and not get your boots all over the brand new map? I swear he knows. It's just like it's a game.
It's disgusting. I'm not impressed. I'm supposed to be briefing for a flight right now, and I'm making popcorn.
The point is that Seamus is missing the point. Like everything else here, popcorn duty is a test.
This is ridiculous. Wow, unbelievable.
It's his job, he blew it. And in this place, the cocky attitude might just earn him a ticket home.
Unbelievable.
Go, 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 go! Oh!
No one has ever questioned Riel Eriksson's attitude. Whether she's muscling around a fighter jet or training for the international military volleyball team. But right now, Riel has a confidence problem. She's still smarting from her disastrous landing 2 nights ago.
In any of my flying experience, that's the closest I've ever been to even thinking about that handle between my legs, you know, pulling the ejection handle. And, you know, I know stepping out of that jet, I was like, you know, you're just kind of like, oh my God, this is, this is the real deal.
easy approach.
And the worst part is, bad as the landing was,
Take it easy.
the mission itself wasn't much better.
Control. Yeah, control. Burns, keep rolling out.
She needs a lot of coaching here. She doesn't have a lot of confidence. And she's slow to do everything, like terminally slow.
Now, her instructors are beginning to doubt she has the right stuff to make it as a fighter pilot.
She's shaken. I was frankly shaken by the whole thing as well. She's had problems with other trips. Her grades overall have not been stellar. If we can't get her over this hump, it could happen as quickly as a week where we cease the training.
Cease training. The two words every rookie dreads. It means it's over. And for Riel, that could be just one flight away.
No reported traffic, present position direct, report approaching McCoy, winds at the base. India Whiskey, Whiskey, roger, destination.
Back to recording.
2 nights ago, Riel Eriksson failed a mission after the worst flight of her career.
I had to sit down with myself and go like, you know, this scares the crap out of me. It's just a factor of our job, you know. The plane can be unforgiving at times.
Tonight, she gets a second chance. And this time, her future in the fighter program is riding on it.
Alpha 5-2, magic, recommend a commit there.
Alpha 5-2 committing.
As night closes in, Riel sees nothing but the numbers on the heads-up display and the green glow of the instrument panels. And knowing there's another jet not far off your wingtip is unnerving. Riel got spooked by it last time, landing in formation.
Alpha 5-1, landing gear, go.
And just wiggle those fingers and toes. Stay cool and all that good stuff.
Now, she has to confront her fears and make the landing clean.
Active runway 31 left, IFR approach is far. There we go, okay,
And wiggle. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes.
Oh yeah.
Riel has to put it down, not too hard, not too soft. She's never found that sweet spot. Until tonight.
Alpha 5-1, flight, we're both taxiing back serviceable.
Roger that. Welcome home, Alphas.
Right, providing you don't crash us into anything taxiing back, you passed your ED.
Riel is back in the fight.
My confidence level is about 10 times more than it was after my previous trip. Definitely a lot better than it was. Always a good start. Not scare the shit out of yourself.
Riel's performance tonight has helped dig her out of a big hole. And the bonus? She's also cleared for tomorrow's big trip south.
So, next trip to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, yeah.
Oh, sucks to be you.
But it's not going to be a holiday. The students have to plot a 2,000-mile flight plan to L.A.
Oh my god,
But
there's
it'll
only
be
a
in here
few.
somewhere. Let me see. And that one's got Montana. Does it have Idaho?
then land at a huge and unfamiliar airport in a crowd of airliners.
There's a custom section for each airport in this one, right? For the Canadian one? There's a Bob Hope Airport here.
And this morning, it feels like the preparations for a long family road trip.
Distance doesn't matter. It's just simplified. The simplest route is that one.
Well, distance sort of matters.
Here comes Dad, who can't understand what's taking so long.
You'll be ready in 12 minutes?
Define ready.
You be ready to brief in 12 minutes? Yes or no? I think so. Yes. Yes? Okay. So 12 minutes, I'll see you guys down there.
12 minutes.
Yeah, we're ready. We're done.
Yeah, but...
Go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom now. Hold on. You go to the bathroom? You know what? Go do that now because you have an hour and a half.
It's 2 hours, eh?
Yeah, 2 hours sitting in the airplane.
Which raises the question, what if nature calls at 25,000 feet?
This is called a piddle pack. Fill up the bag, and this material inside the bag kind of soaks it up and gels it or solidifies it a little bit so you don't have the risk of it leaking in the aircraft.
All fine in theory, it's the execution that's messy.
You can imagine with the G-pants on top of it, you're strapped into the aircraft, and trying to get yourself and get everything in this bag is quite the effort.
People always ask, what do I do on the long cross countries? There's worry-free control. The boys will be lining up now. Let me tell you.
Then, of course, there's always the last-minute luggage cram.
Is this even gonna fit? That? Oh, yeah, it'll fit.
Since F-18s don't have trunks, bags are stuffed into a luggage pod on the wing.
Managed to narrow it down to 8 pair of shoes. Very difficult for a woman.
I brought my issue green military thong. It's gonna look great on the beach.
And like any road trip, things are bound to go wrong. But when that happens 5 miles up, there's no place to pull over.
California.
Oh, yeah.
It's 2,000 miles from Cold Lake to L.A. For the students and the instructors in the back seat, it's a long ride with none of the fun stuff. It's like asking race car drivers to start hauling freight on the freeway.
Wouldn't it be so much fun to fly for Air Canada doing this all day?
Yeah.
I've already won out. It's killing my butt.
Yeah.
They cross the border and do the tourist thing. A little sightseeing, a few holiday snaps. For the moment, there's time to relax.
It's awesome.
But not too much. Because in a few hours, they'll hit the kind of traffic jam that rattles even the pros. Los Angeles Airport is what's known as high-density airspace. 80 million people fly in and out of here every year. It's busy, it's confusing, and everybody's impatient.
Climb and maintain. Bravo, you landed at Fullerton, or what are you doing? American 1275, just the main 29, climb and maintain, total 400.
Sugar 20, climb maintain 290.
Sugar 30, Roger.
The students had hoped to make LA before sunset, but they're late. So now they'll have to land in all that traffic in the dark.
You did not want to hit that guy.
Yeah, that's a collision course. So keep your eyes out for other flashing traffic, and you'll see we got another guy on the left.
279, contact Open Center 134.37. 2 miles moving away westbound.
That's the one that just went by?
Yeah. Roger, the transmission, contact Open Center.
3 clear direct to Avenal, and the remainder of this 86 arrival.
And when you're trying to squeeze a fighter plane into a stack of airliners landing at a rate of 1 a minute,
Center, it's Cougar 30, how do you read?
Losing contact with air traffic control is the last thing you need.
It's Cougar 303576. How do you read? Oh, that radio went down. God damn it. Are you touching stuff real?
No, I'm not.
It's Cougar 303576. How do you read? Great.
And when the radio does come back,
Cougar 30, think you're trying to check on it?
What?
Riel's a little slow to bark it out.
Ask him, say it again.
Cougar 30.
She's a bit too shy for LA.
Affirmative.
Cougar 30.
Right on.
Cougar 30, roger.
That's it. Get the voice going.
Listen to me, damn it.
They don't want to hear you whispering. And you'll start seeing the runway lights flashing out at you pretty soon, okay? Get on course.
In Cold Lake, an F-18 coming into land is top priority. But here, you're just another plane in a long queue.
I'm visual.
Oh, right on.
Cougar 16, LA Tower. You're 4 miles behind an Airbus. Runway 24 right. Clear to land, wind calm.
Add power. Good. Good job.
They're down, but the trip isn't over yet.
It is 9:30
Cougar
p.m.
30. When you're over the bridge, contact ground 121.75.
So we're going over a bridge.
2165 for can 78.
Like this bridge?
This place is so big, it's a 30-minute trip just getting from the runway to the parking spot.
You got your map out, Riel? It's on page 108. And you follow this dotted line all the way down to the end. And you'll see Charlie Taxiway popping up. Well, that was certainly sporty, huh?
Holy crap, yeah.
A lot of work. That's why we come here. You gave us a good workout. Airspeeds, frequencies, lost comms, crappy weather.
At night?
Nighttime, and I'm hungry.
That was just way, intense. There's no time to mess up. And I did lots, so it was good.
I've never been so happy to be on the ground.
On approach, I started laughing for a second, and he's like, what? And I said, look to your right, and you could see, 15, 20 airplanes stacked up behind us. And,
just a line of landing lights.
That probably wasn't good, because then the stick started shaking like that.
Yeah.
When you leave the Canadian hinterland and wake up in Hollywood, it's easy to pretend you're Mr. Big.
Let's do lunch. All right, my people talk to your people.
Except Mr. Big wouldn't be buying his own lunch. Or making time with mannequins. Stripped down to their civvies, they're just tourists like everyone else.
Riel, this way. Thanks, guys. Come on, boys.
That's awesome.
Come on in. It's a good trip.
I'm very comfortable right now.
Next morning, the beach and the boulevards are a distant memory. And it's back to flight suits and flight plans.
Okay. Yes. Can you work a flight plan?
Yes.
They're heading home, and it's up to the students to figure out for themselves how to get there. The experience is critical, because if they make it through fighter school, the next big trip might take them to a combat zone.
What we found on this trip was, this is actually the first time that people have ever even been south and seen a palm tree. 6 months from now, these guys are not in a friendly neighbor's backyard or over in Afghanistan or somewhere else. So it's the first step to really take responsibility for a pretty expensive asset of the Canadian Forces.
And though they train as a team, there's no getting around personal responsibility.
Got departure. Departure so long. 09er, clear for takeoff. Change to departure. Clear takeoff. Trigger 27.
They're always on a short leash. Something one of them is gonna get a hard lesson about back in Cold Lake. After a couple of slack days in LA, the students are back in Cold Lake, back to the grind. And Lieutenant Seamus Allen is coming home to a big problem that won't go away. He's a standout for all the wrong reasons.
We just noticed some problems there with Seamus in terms of how he was acting in briefs and debriefs.
It's never wise to question an instructor about things like basic geometry.
See, that's not. See, that's 40. It looks like 40 to me.
Let's. Oh. Do you want to put your glasses on right now? Or?
Okay. Sorry,
I'm not going to be facetious, but I am. Everybody can draw a 45. Seamus, 45 is like right there, is it not?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is. Okay.
When you show up at the squadron, the last thing that you want to be doing is sitting there in briefs and debriefs and debating with your flight lead, or in this case your instructor, how to do certain things in the jets.
When the guy at the front is wearing a 2,000-hour patch on his shoulder, you don't mess with him. Period.
That's going to bring your nose down to about 10 degrees on the pitch ladder.
Yes, and then?
And then we want to stabilize that.
How? Once we got our brake.
You need to have the stick in the center. You did not have the stick in the center. Laterally.
That's not going to stabilize it.
Okay, what if we're upside down right here? We're doing this, and then you go, and I say recover.
Well, it wouldn't probably be 80 degrees nose up, but I would recover. I would roll wings level and...
Are you being sarcastic now?
No, I wasn't trying.
So here we go, like this?
Well, I'm gonna
you know, I think that my personality, you know, I like to be very detailed, sometimes too detailed, to the point where either we're wasting time at details that right now don't matter, or to the point where it's actually, you know, pissing the instructors off.
If you're feeling like heavy vibration now, you're too high.
In the fighter world, conformity is the lifeline they all depend on. Knowing you can trust a guy to follow orders without question.
If you're going into combat and the flight lead stands up and says, today we're going to do it this way, well then you either do it that way or you don't go flying.
And it's not just the classroom behavior.
Come back down.
Recently, Seamus failed a simulator mission after repeated mistakes. And that means a whole lot of red ink on his progress card.
It's surprising how easy it is for things to just turn upside down. I mean, I was on a good trend initially, and things were happening for me. And then, bam, you know, fail a flight. You know, fail. Look at all the blood on the card.
It's part of a pattern that his commanding officers don't like to see.
You know, we're about habits here, developing good habit patterns, not bad ones. And so those little things, what apparently seem like little things, are actually can be pretty severe.
The next phase in fighter school is the most intense kind of combat flying, dog fighting. This is where rookies who don't quite have the stuff get weeded out. Whether it's lack of focus, a failure of confidence, or just the sheer weight of the workload. And if they're going to turn the corner, the time is now. That's next time on Jetstream.